Alright guys, it's Drac and I'm doing my mod tutorial for the Nerf Spiderman blaster. The internals for the Venom blaster are the same as the Spiderman one, duh, but I'm doing it with the Venom one because it's the only one I have. On the back side there are 4 screw posts. They're all Phillips head. They look like this. They're a different length than the internal screws. So once you take all of those out, the sandwich butterflies open like this, and the trigger mech that connects the actual Spider-Man style trigger to the Plungers trigger is this red piece, and it goes in like this, but you can set this entire housing and the red piece aside until you put it back together. This is the Plunger System. The plunger is held in like so, and it's held in by this one screw in here that holds this plastic disc on, which keeps it seated inside the blaster. There are also 3 other smaller screws that are this size that fit here, here, and then one underneath the main top barrel's tube right there. Once you remove all of those, including the one that holds the plunger in, you can get into this one, which is underneath the barrels, and you might be able to reach it with a thin enough screwdriver, but I couldn't, so I had to come in with this. And it is, again, a different size than the others. It's got a much wider head, and it's shorter. It's a different length entirely. Once you remove that, you should be able to get in to the plungers, or to the barrels. And they're the same traditional air restrictors. Now why Hasbro thought it was a good idea to put air restrictors in an air-powered blaster is beyond me, because dry firing doesn't hurt air-powered blasters. But it's got the same sort of air release and springs that any other Springer-powered blaster has. And I'm removing the air restrictors entirely because they just seem silly. I may drill out these dark posts and put them back in just so that there's less dead space. In fact, if I look at it and how it fits in, I'm going to have to do that anyway. But I will do that, put it back together, and the only other thing I'm going to do right now is come in and tighten this air release screw here a good 3 or 4 turns until I feel the friction really increase, and I know that that's going to allow me to put more pumps in this and get better ranges. I'm not going to do a rebarreling because I really like the compactness of this blaster as is, and I'll probably be using it on my left hand for HVZ. So I'm going to drill out those posts, leave this how it is, and put it back together, and I'll show you the improved performance in a minute. Alright, so I'm just showing you that I did a complete dremeling out of these air restrictors. These are the posts, and with these gone it ought to fire every kind of dart, and without these air restrictors it ought to get better ranges. I still have no idea why these were in here. They had really strong springs for air restrictors too. Alright, so I'm showing you what I did to the plunger for the pump. And it's just this simple. I came in and I've put Teflon tape, basic Teflon tape, underneath the O-ring, and then I'm taking silicone grease and greasing the O-ring. It ought to make pumping a lot more efficient. So I spent a long time trying to figure out how this red piece went back in. I wasn't sure if it pushed like this or like this, and then I ultimately figured out that the reason these grooves are here is it looks like this, and it slides in like that, and that's how it goes through and depresses the plunger here. Alright guys, so this is the finished Dart Tag Spiderman blaster mod, and it now fires any kind of dart. I've got a tagger, a streamline, and one of my sonic micros in it, and I just love this blaster. I can get 50, 60 feet out of it easily, a little more when I angle it, but this is an incredible last resort, and I absolutely love the way this mod turned out. Thanks for watching.